Well, howdy, y'all, and welcome to another electrifying episode of the High Voltage Live Show. I'm your host, Willie Snyder from Nat King Code, coming to you live from the Mile High City in Denver, Colorado. I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Mr. King James Stallcup, and actually he's got a new nickname, King James Skywalker Stallcup, and he's got the Jedi Force from our Star Wars thing, and we are crossing our fingers that Adam is going to join us again for the quiz and see if he can put up some competition for James with tonight's topic. So I really appreciate everyone's participation. Big shout out to Shane, Quartermaster. Real awesome that everyone participates. Even on the job site, we participate. I ask them quiz questions, and so I never tell anyone the answer, James. So everyone has to tune in to find out the answer. And I'm probably gonna have to make a podcast about like how James gets the answers from people on the job site or something, so I don't want to have to do that, so really awesome. Thanks so much everyone from joining us every week. It means a lot. I really have so much fun putting these together, James, and I know you kind of bust your hindquarters getting them ready, and I really appreciate it. I know sometimes some of the stuff doesn't come through and different things like that. I couldn't believe some of my pictures didn't come through, so
no worries. I did want to tell everybody, I put it on here. Facebook, they're doing something totally different now with the streaming, and I subverted it a little bit. But if you're having trouble viewing on Facebook and commenting, just go over to the YouTube channel and go over, subscribe, and you'll be right in. You won't have any problems. But I'm going to, hopefully, if it's working tonight, then I did everything correctly. But they've done a whole bunch of crazy crap. And you have to actually go in and reset it. I mean, it's crazy the things I have to do. But hopefully it was working properly. If it's not, then just go over to the YouTube channel.
Yep, yes, sir. And it just means a lot that I've got so much. I've tried to post up all the top fans and people that participate every week. It means a lot. So we're gonna throw up a banner at some point, I hope, unless you didn't do it. But I was gonna try to put like the top people that participated in our thing. We're working on it. If James didn't do it this week, then we're gonna try to get that banner set up.
Okay.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Did we have like a banner thing?
Yeah, we had something. Oh no, I did not have that. I was having problems figuring out just exactly what to put on there. So I will have the banner next week.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure I'm putting the right one on there. So I wasn't 100% sure, and I've been very, very busy this week. And I just wasn't able to get it all together. I just didn't have time. I mean, I was doing all of this up to the last minute. I finished at 6:30, getting everything ready. So I did have one thing I wanted to show. Everybody will see this up here pretty soon. It will be real soon, matter of fact. This is going to be the generator transform motor compressor book. I've actually set this up where they'll be in parts and individual chapters also. We've been asked to do that specifically by the apprenticeships, because they like to be able to purchase certain things. But like if you're looking here and you're doing generators, you just want to get that part, or you want to get transformers, motors, we'll have that available. And so you're looking at this and you just want to see what does it say about generators and NEC. You just click here. We got little covers that have already been set up for everything. And then when you come over to this chapter, we have everything set here for you to go look at. So if I wanted to look at, I don't know, let's just say that I want to look at the ampacity of conductors. from General. This right here is the connection. You'll have to take right after it here. So you'll see the illustrations have been done in very precise looks of the way you're going to start seeing our publications. We even show here, like where you got generators supplying multiple loads here. We show where you set up coming through the switchboard. You got your service equipment setting up with all your different transfer equipment and showing where you got multiple loads and you're doing emergency, legally required, standby, and normal. We show you how all that sets up and everything. And then we eventually get into all the wiring, but there's different ways that you can go in and do this. So like this one here, instead of um, having the service over here, you'll notice we're coming in with the disconnecting means and then going over. So you got disconnecting means that are set up here. This would be your first point of disconnection that's going into the service equipment. So this is where your grounding comes in. And then when I go over to this service equipment, of course, that neutral would be isolated. You'll see even for our portable equipment, we've drawn all new portable equipment. Everything is here that you're going to want for generators. We've done pretty much everything. Here's where we're showing right here where you do your connections and everything. This is showing where you have a 4-pole transfer switch. Then you get over here, we start tying it in, talking about the wiring systems for it and everything. So as you can tell, that is ready. And I'm almost done with the transformers, all the chapters in it. Then I just have the motor. So by next Friday, I will be posting up and have discounted price on all of that. And if you want it, go over and get it. I'm going to have to get everything loaded up to the site. But that new publication's almost ready. And then shortly, by the end of July, you can expect to see the Journeyman and Masters come out in color and with all brand new illustrations. And you also will have another one where we have calculation chapters that'll be coming out for individual that you can do there. And I think when everybody sees everything, well, you can see it. I just showed it, and it is bright in color. We worked all the colors to make sure everything showed up properly, and I think everybody's going to be very happy with it.
I do want to give a big shout out to Bob Cook. James made sure to put a lemon head in every single one of his illustrations, so you're featured in pretty much every hard hat picture. It's got a lemon head on, so
it showed up much better in the illustrations. That's why we went yellow. But and one other thing, tomorrow at 12 a.m. it will go down. If you want the grounding and bonding, or grounding electrical systems for safety is what we called it, and if you want the lightning protection, at 12 a.m. tomorrow, it will go off sale, and it will jump. I think what was it? I think it was $19.95. So I don't remember what it was, but I can tell you it's going to jump up to $60. All right. So if you want it, you better get it. I can already tell you there's been tons of people have been ordered. Matter of fact, I told Billy, goes, golly, that. I was like, yeah. And so if you want that publication, better jump on it because you only got 1 day left, and I'm telling you, it goes over after it's over.
Oh, nice.
He is correct. And we show all that, showing if it's a 3-pole or 4-pole, and showing if you're switching the neutral or not. And from there, that's determining where you set up your grounding electrode system. We have all that in there. So I think everybody would be very, very happy with the amount of work and everything that we've done to the illustrations. So that's all I got.
welcome in the house, David. Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate you.
All right. So we're done with all the little housekeeping things. Oh, and we may do a podcast Sunday going over showing you all the generator transform motor book. It'll be a special podcast, and we might actually have Mark Candel's on showing his software too. So we'll see if we're able to get him on.
Did you talk to Mark?
I hadn't talked to him yet. I know we had talked to him previously. We need to give him a call and make sure. If not, we can do it when we come out with the next one.
Yeah,
So
I'll hit him up, see how the old new ranch is going. Because you guys got to compare cowboy hats. That's, I guess he's got a new cowboy hat. He's on a ranch now, so.
I'll have both of them. I have my straw and my felt.
Okay, all right. What did you think of the meme this week? You like it?
Yeah, it looks good. Matter of fact, let's cue it up.
All right. The thing that's so funny about that is I've actually had times before where I've been in other people's like bathrooms and I'll just get my little screwdriver I bring with me everywhere and I'll just straighten them out, and make sure they're all good to go.
I've seen
The
them
thing
in
that's
all
funny,
different berries where they don't even put it horizontal or vertical. They just wherever they end up. I'm like, come on, man, do a little bit better work than that.
yeah. So my apprentice, I taught him the reason that we do that, and I learned that a long time ago, and the reason we do that is in case the painters like take our plates off, or like people like mess with our stuff, then they call us back on warranty. Then we know if our screws are messed up that somebody messed with it, And a lot of times if they don't put them back straight, then like sometimes they'll go mess with them and they'll put them back straight. But if they don't put them back straight, we know that they probably don't know what they're doing and they probably shouldn't have been in our box.
Right.
So that's the reason that we do that, like specific direction. I do kind of a combination. I actually run parallel with the device. So if your devices are going horizontal, then I'll turn them horizontal, and if they're going vertical, I'll run them vertical.
Right.
So that's just a little pet peeve thing. I thought everyone would get a kick out of that one, but what does David say here? Oh yeah, yeah. We get into it over that. You can get you can get people fired up. Like we actually used to go through and try to do like the most craziest post where you'd have like the screws crooked, the receptacle upside down, you'd have like all this stuff like where you just try to get everyone just fired up, where they're just, oh, you're a hack, oh, that's horrible, use like some different cover plate or whatever. It just, people get fired up. It's pretty funny. It's so easy to trigger electricians. I don't understand why, but pretty awesome. So this myth of the week this week was actually requested by one of the people. They messaged me and said they wanted me to run it, and I think it's a good one. So
All right.
Roll myth of the week.
It's time for Myth of the Week.
All right. Well, thanks for joining Myth of the Week. I really enjoy doing these every week. It's a lot of fun. And James has been learned to get like used to some curveballs sometimes, because I do like to throw some little curveballs out there. This one actually stems from a long time ago. The inspectors used to walk around and they'd look in the trash can and they'd try to see how we stripped the MC. And if it looked like we stripped it with something other than a roto split, they'd try to make us replace all the MC. That is actually illegal. If you look at the manufacturer's instructions on this specific cable, they actually give you a bunch of different approved methods that you're able to strip. They say you could use a hacksaw. They say you could use tin snips. They say you could use diagonal cutters. They say you can use all these different types of things. And I actually think a roto split is the fastest way. And like I said, I wasn't trying to do an advertisement for this specific roto split brand, but this specific brand was the only one that worked really good. I liked it. I still own one of these. and that's the one. I'm not trying to do a plug for the roto split, but you know, and that's the thing, you know. And resi guys, you know, they even like to, you know, see the outcome, because a lot of these guys haven't dealt with MC cable. Good comment, David, appreciate it. But you know, like I say, what we run into in this one is a lot of times what I've seen is you can set these adjustments too deep, and you could actually cut into the conductors. So you have just as much chance of damaging the conductors with a roto split as you do with you know, like diagonal cutters, as some people say, or you know, anything else. So you know, like I say, the one thing that I asked, it was funny, I asked the inspector all the myths ahead of time to try to kind of get his take and see what he said, and he goes, you know, I would think that the manufacturer would say that would require to be a roto split. And I was all, you would think that, but then if you go look at the manufacturer, they gave you multiple different approved methods to cut it. And so as long as we're following 110.3b listed and labeled, and we're following the manufacturer's instructions, then we're good to go. And you know, like I say, James pops up the installation instructions here, and I don't see if it gives you anything like as far as approved cutting means, but well, I know it's in Southwire, so if you guys check out Southwire and Cutting MC Cable, they give you a list of things. And the thing is that they're not even saying that you have to use a certain thing. What they're saying is, you know, just has to be an approved cutting tool so that you don't damage the conductor while you're stripping it. So I really like that illustration. That's pretty good, James. Shows it in there. And that's actually the AC with that HCF. We've covered that before, where you just cut that bond strip off and you're good to go. Uh-oh. Lost James. I wonder what happened. But yeah, that's really awesome that you put it together, James. That was really awesome, you know, for Myth of the Week this week. Like I say, the reason that I do the Myth of the Week a lot of times is because a lot of these inspectors, they try to push different kinds of things that they want done. And you know, I try to reiterate to everyone that that's actually illegal. It is actually illegal for people to try to push their narrative. And you know, that's the thing, you know, inspectors can't just make up rules. They have to be enforcing the code, and if the code gives you permission to use a different style, and like I say, to all the apprentices out there, if like you were ever faced with an inspector who was trying to force, like, say, hey, you need to use a roto split, you know, yeah, it might be cleaner, it might be faster, it might be something like that, but you can't force something that isn't gonna work with that product. So that kind of stuff, we have to kind of like keep with like a grain of salt, and just, you know, realize that these you know, these tools are designed to, like, for a specific reason. It's mostly to save time. It doesn't have anything to do with like the listing of the cable or the listing of anything. Like, that's not a listed tool just only for use with MC cable. I mean, obviously you could probably use it for different kinds of cables. I know, shout out to Lemonhead, we've dealt with some CLX cable, and it's explosion proof, and you would use the same style kind of cutter. And they actually had automatic ones. They had battery powered ones where you could actually put them in there, you know, and kind of, you know, turn them on and cut the armor out of the way. But that CLX cable, I mean, that was some real fun stuff to try to strip. That was, I mean, you could use any kind of tool you want. It's gonna be hard. And we were using a come along to try to pull the armor off the jacket. Like, oh, that stuff was rough. But I don't know what happened to James. He just disappeared. Didn't didn't say anything, so it might be having a lightning storm over there, Big Sky Country, Texas. So I'm not sure, but like I say, we'll see if we get James back here. Like I say, that's weird. Might have just lost power or something weird. Let's see. But yeah, anyway, so the one thing, the reason that I like to do these myths too, is that I get them out there, I put them on my groups, and I get other people's opinions on like what they think and what they ran into. And you wouldn't believe how many people are like, they'll say, oh, that's stupid, everyone knows you could just use side cutters, or you could use dikes, or you could use linemans, or you could use whatever. But the whole thing, the reality of it is that there's really no tool that an inspector can like force you to use unless it's required by the manufacturer. So when you look in there, it'll say this is recommended to use a roto split. That is not a requirement. So that's one of those things we have to keep in mind, that just because it says recommended to use doesn't mean it's required. So I was kind of hoping James would be doing his topic of the week, because I was real excited to see what it was this week, and I'm sure he's trying to like log back on. And I just kind of wanted to do a little extra segment here. Look who's just popped in. Oh, it's Daniel J. And yeah, Daniel, he has the saying, no, you can't do that, you're a hack. Oh, exactly, Daniel, you got it, brother. Yeah, only in the panhandle, huh, David? Okay, cool. Yeah, David says there's no weather over there, so I'll have to see what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if Senior like flipped the breaker on him by accident or something. But just to let you guys know, Daniel, so we have a guest that comes on for the Willie Quiz. You remember Adam from the Team SOS podcast? He comes on, and one of the things that Adam does is he drinks pickle shots. So tonight I got my pickle shot ready, got my pickles on there ready to go. So hoping that once Adam comes on, we can do a pickle shot at the end of our Willie Quiz. Yeah, so I know that he's saying, David's saying that the only weather's around Dumas, north of Amarillo. So I'm gonna try to text him, see what's going on, see maybe you put something in here. I don't have to. Say what happened? But yeah, I'm not sure. He just clicked off. That's pretty weird that happened. But yeah, so I got my pickle shot ready. I mean, there's a chance that Adam might not pop in. Oh, there he is. All right. Whew.
Man,
I was like, I wonder what happened.
Everything just shut down here. You could hear something popped. I don't know what the hell happened, but it went down. All of a sudden, I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I told him. I bet you that Senior probably pulled the freaking circuit breaker on you.
Did you get through the myth okay?
Yeah, we're good to go. I appreciate those illustrations. That worked out perfect to drive it home. Are we
I
doing
gotta
topic?
reload everything. I got to reload it all real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when it shut down, I mean, it threw everything off on this end.
So, are you still doing your topic on the 2026
Yes.
changes?
Yeah, we're going through all of Article 250 tonight.
Okay.
All right, let me go ahead and start it. Here we go. All right, I'm back in play.
Yeah, so that's gonna actually be kind of cool when you go to do your code change publication because you'll have most of it already all written.
Yeah, what they did here, you're going to see, they've made a few little changes in this cycle. I mean, there wasn't a lot that was done to Article 250, but one of the new ones that you're going to see is a new Article 270. Okay, and what that is going to be is where you get over systems when you're grounding over 1,000 volts. Okay, and that's what they did here in 250.1. They're basically explaining here that there was really no change except for the part where it says for electrical installations not over 1,000 volts AC, and then 1,500 volts DC. But if you look at the committee statement down there, they're going to tell you that portion of the scope had to be done to reflect what had happened with the new creation of Article 270. Okay?
Okay.
So now they're telling you that this is limited here in Article 250 to 1,000 volts or less, and they've created a whole new article for it. Now, for this presentation, I'm not going through all of Article 270. When we get ready to do the code change update, we'll go through every bit of that because we already have the illustrations for it.
One thing you did miss, James, is dun 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 dun. We got Daniel swimming around, waiting. He's circling in the water.
I showed back up. Okay, now this is where you're going to get in. You're going to look at 250.36, but this is going to deal with your impedance bonding jumpers, and they made some changes here. All right, and basically what they did, they also took 250.36G and added it up here for the bonding jumpers, because this is where you're getting in and you're looking at the sizing of your bonding jumpers, that you're going to do it in accordance with 250.36B. Okay, so they made some changes here, and what they also did is they changed the term grounded to grounding electro, so that helps match the language that's in the new definition. So if you remember when we started this the other day, when we first started this, I was in Article 100, and I talked about the impedance bonding jumpers and all that stuff. Well, this is a reflection of that new definition that's going to be there. Okay, so it's still sort of the same, except for they're now coming in and moving 250.36G into this as 250.36E2 and telling you the size of it. You have to do it in accordance with 250.36B, just like you do the other conductors. Okay?
Okay.
So that was a change that took place there. Then they did another one here in 250.64C. This is where you get into the grounding electroconductor installation and part being continuous. And what they added here, they did a little bit of work up in the top up there, but really the main change is in C2. And what they did here is to explain that where you're making splices, that and they're made at an accessible locations that you can take and use the splice of wire-type grounding electroconductors permitted by listed grounding and bonding equipment, but it has to be at an accessible location.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one. I'm gonna have to run that one on a myth because a lot of people see that continuous and they think that you can't splice it or you can't cut it, and it's just required to be electrically continuous.
Yes, and if you look, they also tell you in the committee statement there that splicing by exothermic welding process and irreversible compression type connectors is still permitted for accessible or non-accessible. But if you're going to
Gotcha.
take and you're going to use a wire type here, then they're going to tell you here that it's permitted, but it's by listed and grounding and bonding equipment, and it has to be accessible. Okay?
Right.
They made a change there. That's a pretty good change. It's explaining what you're allowed to do and not do. Okay? But all the rest of it's still the same. Okay?
Yeah.
And then this is the last I'm doing here. This is a big change that took place here. Okay? And what had happened was, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to show here the committee statement because it's not much, but I'm going to go through and explain a couple of things. But the very last sentence there, it says, this first revision will provide additional guidance for installation of metal raceway systems into non-metallic boxes or enclosures, which is now commonly being seen in the field. So all they're doing here is they're coming back here and they're saying that you can come in and you can take and have these non-metallic boxes or enclosures where you install these metallic wiring methods. Now, when you do this, if you look at number 1, it gets into the bonding here. And it talks about where you're taking and using these non-metallic boxes and enclosures where you have these metal wiring methods, and it says you have to comply with one of these 2 methods here. All right? So it says if you're using listed non-metallic boxes or enclosures with integral means to interconnect all metal raceway or cable entries and providing bonding for the metal covers shall not be required to have additional bonding means or equipment bonding jumpers installed. Then it says where you have this set up, and it says that the metallic wiring method shall have bonding means and equipment bonding jumpers installed for each metal raceway or metal armored cable entry to ensure continuity of the metal wiring method and effective ground fault current pass.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yep.
David has a really good comment in here. He says, what drives me crazy is when people think that the grounding electroconductor from the service, the first ground rod, to the second ground rod has to be continuous. And that's exactly what I'm talking about too, David. That's probably what my myth's exactly going to be because a lot of people think that.
Sure. And then, well, you hear it. Now they say, well, what if you come in here and you've got a metallic cover that's installed on a non-metallic closure? It tells you here that it's required here to have equipment bonding jumpers or other bonding means installed from the metal covers to the bonding means provided for all the metal raceways and cable armor. And then there's an exception to it where it says that it's supplied by a single raceway or single metal armor cable shall not be required to have bonding where all the following conditions are met. And then they give you these conditions, and they say there are no other metal raceways or armor type cables entering the box or enclosure. The supply end of the metal raceway or metal armor cable is bonded in accordance with 250-86. There is a wire type equipment grounding conductor sized in accordance with table 251.22 installed in the metal raceway or armored cable or equipment bonding jumper attached to the metal raceway or metal sheet cable that complies with 250.118 connected to the equipment or device to complete the effective. So basically what they're really telling you in all this, you still have to maintain that continuity. That's basically what they're telling you where you have these metal objects. And one thing I was going to say too is I did have one of my top bands
message me and want me to cover that specific thing. I think Mike Holt covered it about the metal covers happen to be bonded and stuff. So don't think I'm blowing you off. I'm gonna dig into it and see what I can come up with. And I also do love guys like David Englehart coming in with the Myth of the Week suggestion, and I love it. I love myth suggestions. It means a lot. And like I say, sometimes I'll just be sitting there at work and I'll be like, oh yeah, like I run stuff like you can't put MC cable in a conduit. And he goes, oh, you can't. And I'm like, all right, that's Myth of the Week, And it's just fun stuff like that every time. And I hope everyone has a good time learning the code and just having fun with us. And we do it for fun. We're constantly getting ripped on for trying to bring new content, trying to learn new things, and I enjoy it. I don't care. They can rip on me all they want. Doesn't hurt my feelings.
I can even tell you who it is.
Yeah. Well, they can't handle being wrong all the time. That's all I gotta say.
All right, you ready for Tool of the Week? Let's see what we got here.
It's time for Tool Review of the Week. Sponsored by Electricians Only Tool Review and Nipex Tradesman.
All right, this one is actually going to be a future myth of the week, and this is like a Milwaukee pipe cutter, battery powered. I don't think I've ever seen this before, and I think it is a relatively new tool. Probably used more for like the plumbers and stuff, but we do use them. I've had times before where I've had to like cut pipes that already has conductors pulled in it, and this is the best way to do it. You can just cut the pipe, pull it out, and then kind of get a file in there, ream it out a little bit, and then get a coupling on there, and then slide it back on without damaging the conductors. That's a big myth that we run into is they say that it's a code violation to use these, just for the fact that it kind of drags that metal in and causes a burr in there. And that's a lot of times why we use them when like the wire's already pulled, so that you're not having to pull through that burr. Like I wouldn't say we could use these on just like a general installation practice, but like I say, I'm really intrigued by this tool. I'm actually thinking I could probably get one of these just for my bag of tricks. If we have a thing, I think it even went up to 2-inch, which that could be really interesting if you have like a 2-inch that's in a tight spot. You could use one of these and just kind of get in there, cut it, pull it out, get the conductors out, and without damaging them. So that's typically what we use these for, but I would like to actually run a myth on this too, because there's a lot of people out there that says it's illegal for electricians to use these, and so I tied in a little myth in there with that one. But kind of a cool tool. This one I think you're really gonna like. This is kind of a good one, and like I say, I think you'll nail it. Like I say, it's out of your book.
Question of the week. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, that's 800.133B, but there's some exceptions to this. This just didn't. The general rule is. You don't install them together, but there's some others in there where you can go a 1/4 inch or 2-inch.
Yeah, and that's the insulation values.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not. It's weird because you were right about that code reference. I didn't. Is there exceptions in that code reference in 800.133?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there's exceptions there if I'm not mistaken. and I'm going off memory here because I don't really look at communication stuff that often. But I thought that there was exceptions to this, or maybe it. Yeah, I think there's. I think if I remember right, there's another one where you deal with other applications that gets you to the 2-inch, and I think that's like B. And then I think the other ones that you're sort of looking at, you got like A1, 2, and 3, but I think A3, I think, is the one that has like 3 exceptions there. But
True.
If I remember right, God, man, I'm going off memory here for this. I think exception 2 is where you get in there and that you get the 1/4 inch. So I think it just depends exactly what you're asking, because if you get in and you actually look at A3, it deals, if I remember right, it literally says like electric light power class 1, and you got your non-power fire limit, all that in there. Based there that the communication cables won't be placed in there with any electric light power or class 1, and then you go down to your exceptions. So I'm just going off memory here, but I guess it depends on exactly what you're asking there. So my main one would be there, you can't put them in the raceway at all, would be my answer.
Yeah.
They can't be in the same one, but if I'm applying, I think it's exception 2, if I'm not mistaken, it's 1/4 inch. So and then if it's other types, then it's 2 inch. So it just depends which question you're really asking there.
Right. Well, it's not my question, it's your dad's.
Oh, is it? Well, what did he put, 1/4 inch?
I don't know. Find out.
Well, what was it?
He put the answer is D, 2 inches.
Okay, so he was doing other types. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It depends which one you're looking at there. So,
yeah,
it should have been.
You could just admit you were wrong. No, I tried to kind of copy it verbatim, but at the same time, I tried to put it to make. I did change it a little bit, so it could have been on me. Because I should have put electric light power. It might have been a little bit better that way. But I just tried to add the class 1 in there. But it basically was anything that was class 1 was supposed to be separated by 2 inches in the way the question was worded. So it could have been me. It could, I made one mistake this year so far.
Well, when you get in there, I know which one you're talking about, because it does get in and it does list all of those. It lists electric power, all that stuff. So it sort of just depends what. I'd have to see the question. I don't want to comment on it, because that's why I'm saying I'm going off memory, what I remember.
It's in the code publication book, and it's in the I think it's question number 7.
If he messed up, I'll wear his ass out to him. He better.
There you go. See. Oh, you know what? You know what I really screwed up on? I didn't get horns up for Sabaton, and horns up for King James over there in Big Sky Country, Texas. Everyone's got to get a hook 'em horns.
Yeah.
So, awesome. So, did we want to kill about 15 minutes till we run the quiz?
Yeah, I guess we can.
Do the
well,
wall
we
shame.
got the wall of shame. Let's go ahead and get the wall of shame, and I'll put
right.
some stuff and show everybody
Do that.
what's going on.
Shame. 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 Shame.
So I told Adam if he wanted to pop in, he'd pop in about it's 8 o'clock Central Time, his time. So we got about probably like 13 minutes. Oh wow, a Fandelier, a Fandelier.
I figured you would like that one.
Oh man. Well, do they have it like anchored down by something? Like, what?
When I saw it, I was like, all right, now that's sort of funny. Because I'd never seen anything like that. And
Is that like plumbing strap, like screwing it to the
That's what
ceiling?
it looked like to me.
That is freaking bizarre.
When I saw it, I was like, oh man, that is freaking weird. I actually saw some other pretty cool ones, but when I saw that, and I was like, that's a definite wall of shame.
Yeah, it is. Well, they didn't even need an outlet box. No, I'm just kidding. All they need is they just screw that baby right to the ceiling, you know?
Well, one of the things that I thought was funny about it, one of the guys put in, he goes, that was done exactly the way it was supposed to. He said that is art. I was like, yeah, somebody probably actually thinks that.
You know what would be funny is to actually meme this and be like, I bet you they didn't even balance the blades.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's the one thing we always argue about. And it's funny because I never saw where, like, balancing the blades really mattered or not. But a lot of guys say that you have to balance the blades. And so a lot of times these fans, they come from the factory with specific, blades. And we've seen before where, like, guys are trying to, like, hurry up. So they'll just take, we'll be doing like some of these multifamily, and they'll take like 10 fans and they'll just take all the blades off and they'll just mix them all up. And like, from what I understand, each fan is designed with the blades that go to each fan. So you don't want to like mix them up because they have like different mill thickness and different tolerances and stuff. So if you mix them up, then they'll be all wobbly. But that's probably what happened. They probably just mixed up the blades and then they had to put like a blade correction kit on the ceiling, you know?
Yeah, that looks like a much older fixture. Much older, man. It was funny is you can sit there and look and see where it had pulled out of the wall and they just strapped it back up there.
Yeah.
You can see where it's cracked around it.
That's crazy that they had to have found a stud or something to get that to screw back to.
Yeah. I was looking at it, I was like, man, that is one hell of a thing. That's freaking hilarious.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, I was originally, like looking at the light kit. Like, the light kit's like pretty old because, like, I haven't seen those light kits in like a long time.
That's what I'm saying. That's a much older ceiling fan right there.
Yeah, those. Donald Trump called on his ceiling fan back from the 90s.
All right, I'm gonna pull up. I went ahead and pulled up the full publication so I can show everybody here real quick since we got some time to kill.
Yeah.
And I think everybody will like this. What you'll notice as I go through this, you'll see right over on the left-hand side the motors isn't linked yet. So that's because I'm putting new covers in and all of that, fixing it up. But the first two parts here are completely done. So I'm just, actually everything's done here. But I've got just a couple little things I'm fixing up cover-wise. So if I was looking like at, I wanted to look at size and transformers and connections, I can come over here. You'll see that we've got new covers on all of this, and you can take a quick look and see. We show you how to size Y connected secondaries. We show you how to do the closed delta connected secondaries. I mean, as you go through this, you're going to see.
So are you showing those as like coils? Like, go back to that last one. Like that one before, are you showing those as individual coils?
Yeah.
So is that like, that's like a three phase wide to like a three phase delta or something?
Yeah, and showing you how you get your voltages between the legs and everything.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, all right, that's cool. That's kind of a cool visual, and it kind of shows people how that doesn't really have to be listed either, because how do you list a slab of iron with copper wrapped around it?
Even like here, when we talk about size and auto transformers, we go in and show you the full inside, like you would see connection wise, and showing you readings and stuff you should get, and how to go in and do those calculations. I'll tell everybody, go look at any other publications. You won't see this. We spend a lot of time, and as you can tell, you can look and see we've drawn all brand new testers and everything, just like they, for drawing wise, they're about as close as you're going to get. And I'll show you another thing here. I think everybody find this interesting, but I've yet to see this in any other publication. But say you want to come in here and look at secondary types. This is a really good. Matter of fact, we're going to get Dad on here to come in and show and explain all this in these bus ties and everything.
Oh yeah, he still owes me a few.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to be even happier, because this is actually where we go in and show you how to do all the calculations and everything and determine what the amperage is. So
nice.
we show you bus tie at 100%. We show you doing one at 133%. Then we come over and show it at 250%. And then we come in and start showing you how all this breaks down. Now, this is pretty cool right here, but the one I like is where we get into the loop systems. Because when you get into the loop systems, this is where you start getting into all the different type of loops you could see. So you can sort of see, we took a lot of time and effort to draw these out, so you have a visual of understanding how these transformer ties are put together and how you create all these different loop systems and everything within it. Then we show you how to go and also do all the calculations for it. So
question, like if you have like these tiebreakers, is that because you have a different inrush because of the lengths could be different?
Well, sure it could.
Okay.
That's why you get different percentages, and that's why I want to get Dad on to go through all that.
Nice.
He'll explain why they did what they did when they put all that in. Now, I'm going to show one more thing here I think is pretty cool, and I think everybody will like this. Now, this motor part, I'm going to tell you, it is fantastic. But my favorite part in here is where you get in your troubleshooting motor windings and components. Now, come next Friday, I'll have this up for sale as an individual one, okay? And I can tell you, this book, we have done a major increase and upgrade on everything. This book, as one book, is 700 and something pages now.
Wow.
So it tells you how detailed and the amount of effort and work that we actually put into this. But if I look at these motor windings and components, I want everybody to see this. Let's just say I'm looking here, and you'll see we show you how to come in, troubleshoot. We tell you how to test and find the leads for Delta motors. We go to Universal Motors. Whatever it is you're wanting to look at here, we've got it for you. But let's just say I wanted to look at testing and finding the leads of the Delta. Okay? Now, what you're going to see here is we're going to tell you how to test and find the leads of a Delta motor, and we're going to show you how to test these leads here. And you'll see that we've got all the leads marked and everything, and taking the measurements, what your final readings are, and double check your markings. Okay?
Is that, just out of curiosity, stupid question, is that a 9-point or a 12-point?
This is a 9. And you'll see right here, we're showing you it's a 9 right here. Okay? So
gotcha.
As I'm going through this, you'll see as we come down through here, it'll tell you double check your markings, and we tell you go look at 2316G, and then if you look at final readings, we got B through G. And then if I'm looking at taking measurements, you'll see 16. Okay? So when you come over here, it's one thing you can read about it, but we're showing you here how all of this ties in and what those readings should be. Okay?
Yeah, and I get a lot of questions about how to measure a motor. Is that in there too?
Yeah, we have that in there too. We
Okay.
Everything you want, it's in here, and you'll see like this in G. This is your final reading. See how we set all this up and show you the connection of the leads and for what test number 1 to see for your rotation test and all of that. We show you test 1, test 2. This is what you would see as far as your connection of your leads together. Okay? So as you go through this, all this stuff you're wanting to find out on how to do motors, your resistance checks, and all of that, it's all right here. Okay?
Oh,
Testing
nice.
coils. I mean, it doesn't matter what you want to do. You can see there was a lot of time and effort put into this, so you know how to do your readings. I'm already getting all kinds of calls from apprenticeships and stuff. They were saying, when's that going to be out? Because that's something we want to teach our kids. So,
question for you. You said that publication is going to be individually for sale. What's that price for that individual?
I don't know yet. I'll know here this week.
Okay.
But say you wanted to get in and you're looking at that, and let's just say I wanted to look at the different types of starting methods that you have. Because see, when you get into types of motors and motor theory, that's where you get into stuff you will want to know. All right?
Right.
So now if I get in here and I look at my starting methods, let's just look at the types first. Okay? Here's all your different types here. We got full voltage, we got reactor, resistor, auto, transformer, solid state, Y delta, and part winding. Okay? All of this is set up to show you just like you would see in a schematic here if you were out on the job. Okay?
Right.
And as you're going through this, we even come in where we want to show you something here. We may be talking about how do you take and do the reduced starting current for a solid state starter. Well, right here, we give you an example, and then you come down here in the illustration, and we show you the percentage and everything that's used in order to determine that. And then we tell you to get the full load current, that since it's 3-phase, go look at table 430.250. Okay? And there's different types that are set up here based on what you're doing. We even tell you what the starting torque is. So if I want to look over here in the next illustration, we tell you, we did the calculation and we showed you what the reduced starting current was 1,770 amps. And then we come in and we look at this based on the foot-pounds and everything here to help you determine what that starting current is, or starting torque, should I say.
So would that be like what they call like, I'm trying to think of what they would call it, like a soft start?
Could be. I mean, all we're showing at that point, we're not giving.
Oh, dude, looks like the
Facebook.
Facebook site is working. We got Mike Kozlov over there. Roll Tide from Chicago.
Oh, cool. I'm glad
Awesome,
it is
Mike.
working. That means I did it right. All
Yeah.
right. And then we come in, we show you where you got your controllers here and everything. We show you where you got a speed controller that's put in, and all of these have been drawn exactly in digital, like you would see that you're buying new now. And that's why I tell everybody, go look at any other publications out there. You're not going to see where they're coming in showing you how to do all these starting torques and all this other stuff. Okay, so a lot of work has been put into this. I think everybody would be very, very happy with this publication. It's been one of our best selling publications for years and years and years. But
Nice.
another thing that's interesting is say you're coming over here and you're looking at design letters and code letters. Okay. Now this is important because if you come in here, a lot of people don't know how to take and use the code letters to come in and do the sizing. So I'm going to show you something here. Let me go down. Okay. So right here, we're showing you where you set up and you do, like for this piece of machinery here, we're going to show you how to calculate and determine the full load torque and what its foot-pounds is. Okay. And basically what you need to know what the RPM is, 1725. Then all you have to do is put the horsepower, and then you have a constant they use here, 5252. You add all that up and divide it by that RPM, and that'll tell you what the foot-pounds is. Okay. And we go through and show you all these different things. Now, I'm going to show you one other thing. I think everybody will find this really, really interesting.
Yeah, and I just want to add something to that, James. We had a job that we did, and they had me go out there to measure the motor because it was relatively new and it was starting to burn out. They actually already replaced one, and they're like, "Man, this thing's burning out way too quick. What's going on?" And I just went and did the calculation. Well, when I measured it, it said that it was like a 3-year-old motor. Mm-hmm. And it was only like 6 months old. Oh, wow. And so then I did the calculation, and come to find out they undersized the motor. They're supposed to size it at 200 horse, and they sized it at 150.
Yeah.
And so I actually proved the engineer wrong, that he sized the motor wrong, and so then basically they had to eat the cost of all those motors they were replacing, and we ended up having to reorder a 200 horse and wire it up right. So that's why that stuff is valuable to have. Okay,
now let's look at this now, and this is stuff that I just don't think you're going to find this in other publications. This is from years of Dad mainly, because he's been involved in the code making process forever. But if you look at the left-hand side there, it says utilizing code letters to find your locked rotor current. Okay? Now, the table you're going to see there, we're going to tell you go look at table 430.7b. That's where you're going to pick up code letters. Now, the only time you're going to really be worrying about this is if it was a motor that was installed before the 1996 NEC and earlier editions. You're not going to be going over looking at table 430.251b. Okay? Or
okay.
So this is why it's in the code. If you go over and look at that table and you pick up the horsepower there, it'll tell you that the motor with a code letter B marked on the nameplate for that motor, you go over and pick up the kVA per horsepower, it's going to tell you it's at 3.54. Then you just take the horsepower of the motor and then multiply it by 1,000 so we can get it in VA form, and then you'll divide it by the voltage. Where we have a 208 volt three-phase, so that'll be 360 volts. Divide that in for the 70,800, and it's going to tell you that locked rotor current is 197 amps.
Uh-oh, looks like Team SOS is getting ready to jump in here, so...
Okay, well, let me finish one more thing.
We'll round it off here. Adam wants to jump in while we're finishing off here. We're almost there, Adam.
Almost there. Now, let's just say I want to look at overcurrent protection. Now, I'm just going to pull something up here I just want to show real quick. Now, we even come in here and we show, what do you do if you have future additions here? Okay? We come in and list all of this out right here, things that you need to take into consideration. And then we also tie it in to let you know that you can have 2 or more motors that are used simultaneously here. Okay? And you have to calculate them accordingly. And then you have to also take into consideration requiring the highest amperage rating. So what we try to pull out here is you could have a very, very large motor that could actually change a calculation that's in a facility. That could, based on that percentage, would require you to have a larger overcurrent device than if you just calculated it normally. So we go through, we show you all kinds of stuff here. I think everybody will be very happy. You'll see that we even show all the connections here. We're showing you here where you're going into the disconnect, going into the controller, showing you what you would look like, and showing you all the connections and everything that's there. So,
dude, I'll tell you what. It's so awesome. Like at work, I'll be showing people like your 2023 code change book, and they're just, it's like funny. Their eyes are just popping out of their head. They can't believe what they're looking at because they've never seen anything like it. And so I just want you to be ready because there is other material out there from other people. They just haven't shown you yet. So they're working on it. They promised me. I told you it's coming. It might be a year, might be 3 years, might be 4 years, but it's still coming. So you just gotta be ready.
It's funny because I've been saying for the last year and a half too, it's getting there. It's getting there. It just takes time to develop that kind of material. And as everybody can see, that is exactly sort of what you're going to see when we come out with the new Journeyman and Masters. That's the level of detail that's coming out. And as you can see, everything is set up step by step with all the calculations. Everything's there. So especially when you get into motors, you're getting into all kinds of different things you could look at. And we even take you back before 1996. What do you do in that case? And we even take a motor, show you it doesn't have any markings on it. How do you ohm it out and everything to know how to identify your leads? We go through all that with you. So I encourage you, everybody, compare with any out there. You compare that, and I'll guarantee you won't see anything as nice as what we've been able to.
I don't know. They say it's out there. They've kept saying it's over and over. It's out there, and like, that's the whole thing. Like with us arguing about the outlet, like they argued this outlet thing so hard that it doesn't matter what it says. That 210.8F turned into a boat anchor, and now this next cycle, it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not gonna keep it in there when it's not even gonna be gone into effect in 2026. You're gonna tell me you're gonna bring a code into effect January 1st, 2026, and you're gonna have one reference that doesn't go into effect. So, it's just funny. So that's really funny. Oh man, he's still awake. Man, that's crazy. Oh man, Gopher Pad jumps in. All right. Thanks for jumping in the house. So yeah, total boat anchor. I mean, it doesn't even mean anything. Like, so I actually got an official response from state of Colorado, and basically as it pertains to 210.8F, it's basically like we just adopted the 2017. So we haven't adopted 2020 or 2023 for 210.8F. So that's pretty funny.
We know who Gopher Fan is, and for all y'all out there, he will tell you that being on a whiteboard is better than those illustrations.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's going away, brother. Like I say, they're gonna have a hard time. I mean, like I say, it could stay in there. It could be a boat anchor all the way till September of 2026, but it's gonna keep going all the way till September of 2029.
To be honest, I don't even really care about 210.8F if it stays, goes, whatever. Where it really comes down to, I think, comes down to code making panel 1, and in the comment stage now that I know their direction, especially since they completely rejected unanimously Don Gennari's proposal, which, by the way, this is interesting, and they seem to forget this. He was going to prove me wrong. Matter of fact, he even put in the substantiation, there's a certain instructor and author out there saying we need to clarify this and everything. Didn't provide no clarity or anything. Now they're trying to say, it was perfectly clear. No, he didn't prove anybody wrong. Matter of fact, they rejected it, and guess where they referred him back to? Receptacle outlets and lighting outlets, which is exactly where I said that there had to be something in place, and you just can't magically just pick a location. And if you go in and look at 300.15, you know, one of the arguments arguing now is 300.15b says you can use in lieu of a box. That's exactly right, you can. But it's also a conductor termination point, which is listed up in 300.15. So
it looks like Adam's having trouble. We really appreciate Adam. He tried to. It looked like he tried to get on. I seen he was in. I just want to let Adam know I got the pickle shot ready to go. So we will do pickle shot for Adam. It'll be his ceremonial tradition. The pickle shot.
Like I was saying, when you look at that, what is a conductor termination point? You know, it's right there at like an AC unit. That's a conductor termination point. No, it wasn't.
It was already clear. It was already clear to everyone who wanted to push that narrative.
I'll say this: if it was already clear, why did he even have to make the proposal in the first place?
Right. Yeah.
All right, you ready for your Willie quiz?
All right, let's get it rolling.
All right.
You are now entering the zone of the Willie Quiz. Enter at your own risk.
This is so funny because I actually submitted this public input just to get him to say this, when they say 625.54 adding outlet extends GFCI protection Class A to hardwired equipment. I put it in there to get him to say that Elon Musk is an idiot for saying his manufacturer instructions are wrong and that he's got to change them and say that 210.8F applies, and that's not going to happen. So it's pretty funny. I think it's going to be hilarious.
Let me go back there. Adding outlet, this is what gets me. You come on.
They don't even have the technical merit to do that.
Well, it's not even that. It's funny they leave words out. If you really want to argue the point here, Jeremy, I know it's you should have put adding installed outlet. Okay?
Yeah.
That is the key behind this. And that's one of the arguments I've been making. It says installed. It's not when you put the equipment in, it's installed. I ask you this. If I take and put a receptacle up there, do I have to have that receptacle installed before I can cord and plug connect it? Sure you do.
Sure.
It's installed. Matter of fact, I can put it there installed and not even hook anything into it.
True. Same goes for an outlet.
That's right. Once I get rid of the EVSC, let's say it's hardwired, where's the outlet go, Jeremy? Because I can tell you the outlet still stays there for the receptacle. And that's what I've been trying to say. They would come out there, set a box. The box, just like if I had a ceiling outlet, when I go up there, that's where the connection is in that box. Okay? If I have a box outside at the house and I come off there and set my EVSC, the outlet is the box, just like a receptacle outlet is. And that's one of the things.
Yeah. But in EBSE, we proved this in one of our other myths, is that if that EBSE is hardwired, does not say anything about location, and those manufacturer instructions are code compliant, they don't give any mention of 210.8F applying in dwelling units. They don't give you any special permission that you have to have. Those are listed and labeled, and they even say that in Tommy D and Nihad. Nihad's the one that wrote the public input for 210.8F, and he says that it's not required because that already has GFCI protection.
Sure it does. And that's one of the things I was stating earlier too, is the manufacturer's instructions take national codes into consideration. It doesn't matter if it's National Electrical Code, it's Canadian, I don't care what it is. When that manufacturer's developing that piece of equipment, all code standards, any pertinent standards are taken into consideration. And when you go look at 1910.7 B23, I think it is, you go over there and look in OSHA, it specifically tells you got industry personnel that help design the standard in order to create an ANSI and ASTM standard for testing for that equipment, that it meets the listing and labeling per the National Electrical Code also. And then
it doesn't matter if it's code making panel 2, code making panel 11, code making panel 12, code making panel 17. They all have to justify why they're adding the word outlet to that, because it's based on statistics of people being injured, and there is 0. So
sure, and I'll take another thing. If I take and look at it, does chapters 5 through 8 supplement or modify the first 4 chapters of the code?
Yep, sure does.
Now all of a sudden it doesn't, because it doesn't meet their narrative.
Yeah,
okay.
But at the same time, code making panel 2 tried to add GFCI protection to align with 210.8D, and code making panel 17 rejected it and said no. So that's going to be an interesting one too. So we'll see what happens. 2026 is going to be interesting. I can't wait to get my public comments in, because I got a bunch.
Oh, I do too. There's a few that I'm going to make from some changes that came about that I wasn't aware of, and I'm going to make comments on those for changes and have them. And, of course, I don't know how to write public inputs now is what they're saying. But even though I've been doing it forever, but now what I'm looking forward to is they'll say, oh, they're going to reject that. I hope they do, because I'm only putting in there what you guys think. They're rejecting me left and right. That ought to tell you something.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was, you just wrote it to get rejected anyway, so you won. So
yeah.
Right. Well, everyone's waiting for the Willie Quiz, and sorry to keep everyone waiting. Our topic tonight is Viking Norse mythology. So, question number 1: who is the All-Father, the chief god in Norse mythology? Is it A, Thor? Is it B, Loki? Is it C, Odin? Or is it D, Freyr? Good luck, everyone.
Well, you definitely started off with an easy one tonight.
Yeah, I did, and I don't see Daniel up in here yet. Daniel might have. Daniel jumps
I'll help you out, Daniel. Let's see. Oh, you missed it.
Oh.
He must not have watched any of the Marvel movies.
All right.
It's old.
Oh, Daniel. Daniel does not copy King James. Daniel goes Thor. Is he going Thor?
Mm-hmm.
Daniel goes Thor. I don't know. I don't think James is copying Daniel. He goes C, and he is correct. It's Odin. Odin is the chief Norse god.
Let's see who you got next here.
All right.
I know.
So, question number 2. Which Norse goddess is associated with love, beauty, and fertility? Is it A, Frigg? Is it B, Freya? Is it C, Hel? Is it D, Sif? Good luck, everyone. Oh, it looks like we got a new one. Daniel's starting a podcast about how Willie Quiz is rigged. So
Follow me
right.
on this one, Daniel. Go B. Go B. I can tell you it's correct.
Oh, he is. He's copying King James, and boom, we have 2 correct answers from King James. He's on a roll tonight. He's on fire.
Hell yeah.
So question number 3. What is the name of the world tree that connects the 9 worlds to Norse cosmology? Is it A, Bifrost? Is it B, what is that? Yggdrasil? Is it C, Mimsburger? Or is it D, Zhujum? Good luck, everyone.
I know
All
this
right.
one too.
So
Actually, most people would go with Bifrost because they saw it in the movie where they went out on the thing that goes out to the edge, but that was just set up there to send them out. That wasn't a tree. And Daniel's right, it's a Yggdrasil. That is actually the tree. The Bifrost is actually where they were out there at the end of the ocean where they would send them out to where they wanted to go, to
right.
the 9 different worlds that they could go to. So B is the correct answer.
All right, so Daniel only 1 shy from catching King James, and boom, you guys are both correct on this question. So I think we're going question number 4. Which of these is not one of the 9 realms in the Norse mythology? Is it A, Asgard? Is it B, Midgard? Is it Z, Vanaheim? Or is it D, Skaldheim? Good luck, everyone.
This
So I
is
think-
interesting. I know Asgard.
I think I already gave you your 50-50 on this one.
I know Asgard and Midgard are, so it's one of the last 2, and I can't remember. I think Vanaheim is one of them. I don't remember Skaldheim, but I do know Asgard and Midgard for sure.
It's the land of the Skalds.
So I don't think it's one of the 9 realms. I thought Vanaheim. I was trying to think. Yeah, I think Vanaheim is one. I'm gonna go with D. It's C or D, so I'll get my second answer right if it isn't D.
All right, well, it looks like Daniel copies you, and you are correct. That is a completely made-up thing I just made up.
Okay.
I might have got you on the land of the Skalds, but didn't.
Well, I thought
Didn't quite.
Vanaheim because wasn't. I was trying to remember her name. I think because her name was sort of similar to Vanaheim. I was trying to remember what her name was. It's like but wasn't her name Vanguard or something like that?
I think so.
That's why I went with it because I remember one of them named Vanguard. Okay.
Right.
Oh, I know this one.
All right.
I'm going 5 for 5.
So, all right. Starcraft's going for the easy win. All right. Why is Odin missing 1 eye? A, he sacrificed it to help the 3 witches navigate the underworld. B, he sacrificed it for eternal knowledge. C, he sacrificed it in the Clash of the Titans battle. D, he sacrificed it to save Loki from being executed by the gods. Good luck, everyone.
he actually sacrificed it for eternal wisdom and knowledge.
Right.
It's B. I know this, and this is easy one.
All right, well, I'm going to have to say that Daniel takes the loss and gets 4 of 5, and James goes 5 for 5 again. So I didn't think you were going to know that one, but, good job for everyone.
That's the easiest quiz we've done yet for me. That was by far the easiest. And
I try to make them easy. You know what I mean? That's what I try to do. I try to make. I don't want you to miss them. You know. Well, I was actually hoping that there was ones that Adam knew that you didn't know, or ones that you knew that Adam didn't know. You know. But that's what's so fun about it. You know. And just to let all our fans know, the death match is gonna start probably fall, is what we're guessing. Probably like October.
It'll be there. We're getting everything ready, and you'll see all the new online, all the cool illustrations, everything, and we're gonna have a lineup like nobody's ever seen. It's
true.
We are gonna have the best that's out there, and
I'll take probably at least second or third place, David, but I just want to do a cheers shot to Adam. Pickle shot, brother. Appreciate you. To Adam.
Be sure to tell them they got their rear end whooped tonight.
True. I got to do like a better job, but it was funny. Like, not a single person got the why is Odin missing an eye. Everyone was
really?
Like, yeah, it was funny. Like, it was funny. Everyone. Actually, shout out to David with Viking Enterprises. He actually got it right. And so, big shout out to David. I didn't tell him because I know he would just run over and call you and give you the answer, you know. So, but, you know, we always fight scrutiny on here, you know. Like, people are just going to start podcasts and then, you know, it wouldn't be the first time there's a podcast about me, Daniel. So, you know, other crybabies do it too, you know. So, it's a lot of fun. Really appreciate everyone showing up every week and jumping in. Like I said, it's so funny because, like, I always sit there and tell people, like, stories like, I'll be like, yeah, you can do this and this, but you got to take out that big belt buckle. And then I see you look down. And I'm like, I knew you had a big belt buckle, you know, and just stuff like that. It's just, it's funny. It's fun to joke around and give each other a hard time. So now that you got your golf cart all set up with the horns on the front and the king with the antenna on the top, and you're just gonna be driving around DFW in circles, you know, woo, you know, like you probably got your best record so far out of like the whole entire year from last year. So
well, you know, it's funny because you know when I know what the subject is, because I know this, you know, I automatically know. But there's been some subjects I'm like, what the hell? I don't know anything about that. I'm just guessing. I mean, I've gone 0 for 3, 1 for 3, 2 for 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 3. Then I go 5 for 5. You know.
The funny part was when we were like, you were saying you didn't know much about the OSHA subparts. I'm like, next week OSHA subparts, you know. So we'll see. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna crush you. I'm gonna crush that ego. Crush it. You know. We'll see. But tonight you could take the lifted truck down to DFW and do laps around with your King James antenna on the top, and like, I'll have to tell Adam that he didn't have a prayer because you would have crushed him. You would have crushed his dreams, you know. But
I think I'm in the mood for a Whataburger tonight.
There you go.
I'll go get a Whataburger tonight. That sounds good. Go have me a
burger. As always, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks Daniel J for joining. Thanks, Gopher Fan, for joining. Thanks, David Englehart, for joining. Thanks, Mike. Who was it? My buddy Mike Kozlov. Dude, awesome. Mike Kozlov and Roll Tide from Chicago. Thanks for joining. Big shout out to Shane, Quartermaster. Told you I'd give you a shout out. Got you 2, brother. Code times 2. Appreciate everyone. Means a lot for joining every week. We just love all the participation in this show, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Oh,
maybe Sunday. Sunday.
Yeah,
we doing a special one Sunday?
Yeah, I'll have everything ready. I'm actually hoping to have the presentation ready too, but that's pushing it.
Okay.
So, but
right.
I've got a lot done. I'm at the final of that book, and then I go to the next one, and then it looks like I'm gonna have to here pretty soon start drawing the hazardous new illustrations and everything with all the transmitters and everything that we're doing in the purge and pressurized equipment XYZ and all of that, because it looks like we're going to be doing this big oil company contract, and looks like we're going to have 4, 5, 6 maybe classes that are going to be coming up that are full weekly. So we're going to be busy. So,
nice. Well, I just want to give a big shout out to everyone that follows us, Nat King Code, and the Stalk Up Electrical Education. It means a lot to us. And like I said, we've been growing, and I become monetized. James is tearing it up with his books. He's selling record number of books. His sales have tripled. And that just means a lot to all of us, that everything's just building. And thanks for joining us on Pickle Shot Night. And like I said, sorry you couldn't make it, Adam. We held up the fort for you, but we'll let you go get your Whataburger, James.
All right, sounds good. Everybody have a good weekend. We'll probably have something coming up Sunday evening, and hope everybody likes what we're going to be showing.
I'll do a special Willie Quiz for Sunday, and I will crush you. But as always, remember, make every day an easy day.
Amen.
Deuces.
Have a good weekend, everybody.